footage shows a man being arrested because he groped a woman, sexually assaulted a woman during a flight. Now I got to show you this video. It is quite telling. Scott Granden is his name. Here's the first video.
Hey sir, how are you today? Do you have your license on you? No. You don't have your license on you? No. What happened aboard the aircraft?
Nothing happened.
Something happened with a young lady aboard the aircraft while you all were flying.
I don't think so.
Well, she's alleging that something did happen, so.
Am I being detained or what?
Yes, sir, you are.
Why?
Well, as I just explained to you, young lady alleges that you groped her inappropriately.
It's a very close aircraft. I'm 7 foot tall, so she can say whatever she wants to say. I didn't touch anybody.
Have ID?
Yeah, of course I do. I'm on an airplane. So, I mean, I don't understand. I didn't do anything. I literally took a suck half the time.
It was an in-flight incident.
Well, then we'll call out FBI.
Okay.
Okay, that guy has pleaded guilty. I got more video because it gets even stranger after that. But this happened to an ER nurse. The flight was from St. Louis to Atlanta, all right, to the A. Okay, that's not a short flight. There's more.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and notify FBI. Can you give me the?
You guys go yourself.
Okay. You're being detained.
Are you touching me?
You're being detained, sir.
Are you bald and fat? That sucks. You got a small too, huh?
Sir, you have your ID in your pocket.
Call my attorney.
Alright. So, just get that out of the pocket.
Are you guys touching me? Are you guys touching me? Oh, it's weird. It's weird how that works. Stop touching me, dude.
You're being patted down, sir, okay?
Oh, I'm being patted down. It's gun in an airplane. What do you think I'm going to cover? Carry a bomb? We're going to carry a wig for your fat bald head?
Okay.
I'm going to take off my mask here. Hold on. I can't breathe. Hold on. I can't breathe. Oh, my goodness. I can't breathe. Take my mask off. Yeah. Yeah. You see what you're doing to me? You're doing this, pig. No. You calling the FBI because you're black?
He continued to yell racist slurs, homophobic slurs, generally rude and abusive to everybody around him. There's more.
Come on, what? Where am I going?
We're going to walk down that way.
Going where? Oh, to the FBI precinct? You fat bald.
That's right.
You're getting to steal my gypsies. Oh, my pants are falling down. Hold on. Hold on, you gotta get my pants up. Hold on, get my pants up. They just fell down. Rape! 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 Oh, you're raping me! Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Let's put up his picture, okay? Scott Russell Granden. He was later charged with abusive sexual contact aboard an aircraft to which he pleaded guilty to in September. We're just getting the footage from that arrest. Everything has been adjudicated. He pled guilty. He was sentenced in federal court to 21 months in federal prison. Now, imagine what this victim went through. This victim had to stay on that flight with this man sexually assaulting her during the flight. Such a damn shame. In court, he claimed that he had taken anxiety medication and alcohol before the flight that made him think the victim was his fiance. That was his explanation. But obviously that was dismissed by the judge as an affirmative defense because clearly he knew that was not his fiance when he was questioned about it right after the flight. Granden reportedly has a lengthy criminal record, has been previously charged with distribution of controlled substances, assault, and DUIs. Granden is now going to have to register as a sex offender. And when he goes back to his home state of Missouri, because Granden's crimes were committed on the plane, they are considered federal and he will not have the opportunity for parole. Here's what happened on the plane. March 25th, 2021, it was a Southwest flight. Granden was in the middle seat and proceeded to grope the victim's thigh, groin, and buttocks. Granden also attempted to kiss the victim identified by the initials RAK in court documents. Obviously, we always protect victims of sexual assault. This is how it unfolded, all right? After rejecting several attempts at conversation, the victim decided to ignore Granden, put her AirPods on and try to get some sleep. She dozed off and woke up moments later because of turbulence. She initially thought Granden was holding her thigh because he was scared, but he proceeded to move his hand toward her crotch area. The victim removed his hand several times before Granden asked her to get up so he could use the restroom. When the terrified victim complained, Granden proceeded to smack her buttocks. The woman then alerted flight attendants of the assault while Granden was in the restroom, and she was moved to another seat. Granden was moved to the front of the plane when it landed, and the victim told flight attendants she wanted to press charges after he kept staring at her. Let's put up a picture of the acting special agent in charge of the FBI. That is Kurt R. Erskine. And in a press statement, he said, Granden humiliated and degraded her, and this type of behavior on an airplane will not be tolerated. He added, the Senate shows the consequences for such abusive sexual conduct. All right, tough words, okay, yeah, he's gonna go to prison. I think he should get more time, to be quite frank. But you know what? We've reported right here on cops who did even more egregious things. That was egregious. But we reported on cops molesting children that got 0 time and did not have to register as a sex offender. We reported on one just a few days ago, okay? We've covered several out of Kentucky. A Kentucky cop groped a black woman during a traffic stop, was never even disciplined for the incident. The only reason he resigned is because of another case in which he pled guilty for. All right, so here's what we do here. We make sure that we provide equilibrium, okay? There's a rape culture in America. You know what permeates through that rape culture? Acting as if things like this really are not a big deal. Let me tell you, the women that I have in my life, the mother that raised me, the daughter, that's the sunshine of my life. You know, I've had to hear stories about systematic oppression and abuse and a general tolerance for sexual predators. I've had to hear those stories. Those stories are real. But we provide proper context here on Indisputable. Ben, thoughts on this case?
Well, the guy is a monster. I always get also just thrown off, and I notice the little details that beyond the horrific act of what he did frustrate me. Why did they move him to the front of the plane and her to a different seat? This guy gets the first class upgrade for what he's doing, for assaulting somebody on an airplane, and then he's in the area of the airport afterwards being detained, and they say we're taking you to the FBI, and has to make it racial for no reason. Says, oh, you're calling the FBI because you're black? Doesn't make
didn't even sense. Fit, did it? Didn't even make sense. But he wanted to be racist that bad, man. I mean, he just needed to say something racist, even if it didn't even fit the context nor the narrative.
Yep, it's pretty insane. I mean, these people are just, where do they get this premise that they can just live in this world where you're so entitled that not only do you do something horrific, assaulting a human being on an airplane, but then talking trash to the police as they're detaining you about it, asking questions about it. Thank God this guy finally is gonna get some justice. I mean, it's a rare instance of that.
Yeah, and I definitely think he has other victims in his past. That is my personal belief. So I am glad that out of this, he has to register as a sex offender.